So what we're going to do right now, I have 3 new movies that have just come out from Arrow Video. They're either already out or they're coming out this week. And then I'm going to go to a bunch of pre-recorded reviews that I have in the can left over from the last time I did a batch of those. So you're going to see me looking well lit and nicely shot and framed, and then you're going to see me looking scruffier than this on a very comfortable couch at home. So first up, we have a movie from, see, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've done this. It's like February the last time I did this. First up from Arrow Video, we have a film from, I believe, let's see, thank you, 2018. A 2018, what genre would you call this? It's a comedy. It's Russian. It's a Russian action horror comedy that tells you what happens when a young man who is convinced by his girlfriend that her father is a terrible, abusive person, that young man goes to that father's house basically to kill him, and things really don't go as planned. The film, see, this is how good I am. It's been a while. The film is called, and this is not directed to you. This is the title of the film. Why Don't You Just Die? My apologies to any children who may have been watching or members of the clergy. This was really funny. I had never heard of this. This is one of those times where a disc shows up at my door and it's like, I'll just pop this in and figure out what it is as it goes along. It's really funny. It is very, very hyperkinetic, very fast-paced, but shot well. Like, most people don't know how to shoot action or exciting things anymore. It's just a blur. This is very well shot and cut. You see what's going on. It reminded me very much of, you see a little bit of it in the trailer there where somebody's trying to whack somebody in the conjoined area with a mallet, and the guy keeps moving back as the hammer hits the floor, and it feels just like a Jackie Chan fight scene. It's very Chantastic. It's very, overall, the vibe is very Jackie Chan, very like early Peter Jackson, like Dead Alive kind of stuff, or very like Guy Ritchie or Tarantino in its non-linear structure. So as I said, the story is this young guy shows up at this person's house and he just starts trying to kill this older bald man, and you slowly figure out why. But the bald man is not easy to be taken care of. So it's this flashback to this guy talking to his girlfriend, and she tells this guy how terrible her father is and please kill him and blah, blah, blah. And it goes from there. And I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, this is just like a tour de force action, very bloodily violent and comedic slapstick action scene. And I'm loving this, but I've got like another 80 minutes to go. It cannot be this action scene for the full, hour and a half or so, and it's not. Somebody else keeps arriving in the scene. Big action sequences, somebody else shows up, they make a comment, we jump backward in time, and then we take this person's story up to the point where they're involved. So you get context for who everybody is and how this scenario becomes a bit more complex when you get the context for each individual person. He does that a bunch of times, so it is, the present is really mostly just this one sequence, but we go all sorts of other places, and it's crazy. And there's a sequence that, clearly this filmmaker has been influenced by those other people I mentioned. They've clearly seen The Street Fighter, because there's a sequence where there's an impact and you immediately cut to an X-ray of a bone breaking. It's very funny. It's not for the squeamish. I mean, it's not like what I call probing the wound gory or anything, but there's a lot of blood, and there's a lot of, it's like I've seen somebody do this before as a gag on YouTube. It's like if you took a Three Stooges short and you just sort of showed the actual medical outcomes of what they did to each other, and these people for some reason don't die. Thus the title, Why Don't You Just Die? So the film looks great, sounds great. It is Russian and subtitled, but the dialogue is very much secondary to what visually is going on in this movie. I had a blast with it. I would recommend this to anybody who likes the kind of movies I like. If you like action movies, if you like comedies with a lot of blood, if you like, it could almost fall into the horror category just for how much violence there is in it, but it's not really anything supernatural or bizarre. It's just two guys whacking the hell out of each other, basically. The disc comes with a bunch of extras, which I didn't really get a chance to look into. There's a behind-the-scenes making of, and there's also a lot of short films that the same director had made previous to this feature. Again, it's a film I'd never heard of until I got it, but it's a few years old. Watching the opening sequence, I kept thinking, boy, this really feels like an excellent short film that maybe got expanded out to feature length. So I do intend to go back and watch those shorts, because if they are similarly slapsticky and funny and hyperkinetic and as brutal as the feature is, I think I'm going to like the whole package. And I'll often say to you, you know, I like a movie or I don't like it that Arrow comes out with, but I'll put the cherry on top of me liking something is what I'm about to say, which is this is one I'm going to keep. This one was good. This is Why Don't You Just Die, available now wherever videos are sold.